All right, team. So next, go ahead with our next application, which is a custom chatbot using private data. What it means, let's say I have this private data, right, which is a kind of a brochure, okay, in which there are some information mentioned about different training programs that we provide. All right, now I want to build a chatbot so that if there is someone who wants to know about our training program, can easily interact with that chatbot and can get all the informations, right, whatever the information they want, they can easily have the information from using a chatbot, right? So what should be the process that we need to follow? All right, so the process over here is very simple. The first step that will be implemented over here is what? It's like we have to extract. We need to know how to extract a PDF data using Python. Okay, so extract PDF data using Python. This is what we need to do first. All right. Obviously, that will do. Next, we will just create a prompt. Okay, we'll just try to build a prompt, and that prompt will give to our Gemini a prompt that can use the context from PDF to response. Okay, response the user query. All right, we already had seen in our last example, we were giving the prompt. Using that prompt, we could describe a image. We were giving the prompt, and based upon the prompt, our application were generating some sort of text, isn't it? Now we will do what? We'll use a prompt, but the output will be controlled by the PDF or our own private data. All right, this is what we are going to use over here, right? So let's proceed without wasting much time, right? So see, here what we need. We need a library that is called FIDS. Okay. Now, what is FIDS library? If it is there in your system, it's well and good. If it is not there, you have to install it. Okay. So how you can install it? See, you can just install it using pip install. You can see it is not there. Okay. Pip install PyMuPDF. Okay. And here you can give the exclamatory sign. Okay, so if I'm using in Colab or Notebook, I need exclamatory sign. If I'm giving this command in a command prompt, I don't need this exclamatory sign. Okay, thereafter I will import it. Let's say it will work. And once it will work, obviously, we need the next thing, that is Google Generative AI. So import Google.generative AI, Google.generative AI as GenAI. All right, these two things are important. Third, we have to configure our API. So GenAI dot configure. What I need to configure? API key that would be equals to whatever the API key that we have. So let me just copy and paste the API key that I'm having directly over here. Okay, fine. Next, this is done. Okay. Next, we'll create a function that can extract the PDF text. Who will extract the PDF text? This Python library. So let's have a function over here, def extract PDF text. Okay. So for extracting the PDF text, we need what? PDF path. Fair enough. So I'll give the PDF path, and then from that path, text will be extracted and we'll get the information. So let's say doc is equals to fetch. Oh, sorry, just a minute. Fetch dot open. Okay. So what I need to open? I need to open this particular PDF path. PDF underscore path. Right. And from that path, whatever like path will define later on, from that path where at that location, whichever the PDF file exists, this can easily open, right? Thereafter, there can be a variable which is containing a blank text. Okay. Now for page in doc. That means just go through the each content that is present in this document. Which document? The document that is just accessed. Okay. And then do what? Just have the full text, and in this full text add the content of the page, like page dot get underscore text. Okay, whatever the text we have, just keep reading, just keep accessing the text and keep adding into this full text, and at the end return full text. Okay, return full text. So now let's see how is it working. So to test it, here at this location I will upload my file to test if it is working or not working, right? So let me upload the file over here, right? I just uploaded here. The file is what? AI Council brochure PDF. Okay, it is the same file that I have over here, right? So now I will just take this thing and I will take this function, okay, and I'll just take this location, okay, and I'll pass this location over here just to check if this guy is working or not. Yes, this guy is working. It can easily extract the documents, it can easily extract the information from my PDF. This is looking really good. All right, next, what do we know? We will create a function that is responsible for what? That is responsible for chatting with this PDF. Okay, so here def chat with doc. Okay, whatever doc, right? Now here I need what? To chat with the doc, I need the I need over here the information, okay, the document information. So how can I have the document information? The document information I can get it from here. Let's say here I will call it later on when I have to call this guy. So I have to call it like this. Sorry. So I have to call this thing, right? And here PDF path I have to define, right? So PDF path. Okay, that would be equals to what? This is a path, right? So this is my PDF path. Okay, and once the PDF path is defined, thereafter this PDF path will be passed over here, and then I have the PDF text. Okay, so I get the PDF text. Now as I get the PDF text, thereafter this PDF text will be given to this guy. Okay, to whom? Chat with PDF, and this PDF text I have to give it to this guy. Okay, and this function is responsible for actual chat operation. Okay, this function is responsible for what? For actual chat operation. All the logics will be over here. All right, so first let's try to print welcome to AI Council chatbot. All right, and thereafter I'll say, in case someone don't want to continue with the chatbot, so someone can just type exit to quit. All right, this is fine. Now this will be printed. Thereafter, chat should run in infinite loop. Whenever someone will, it should be while true. If someone wants to exit from the chat, the person will just type exit. Otherwise, chat will run in infinite loop. That's why we do what over here? We'll give while true. Okay. So while true, user input. That means I am keep taking the user input over here. Let's say input. Okay, and here I'll say what? You. Okay, and we'll give the, when I type it, like when this thing will appear, user will comes to know that user needs to give some prompt. Okay, now in case if user dot input or user input dot lower, like if suppose user had given in uppercase or lowercase, right, whatever, Like suppose if user is giving the information, giving the exit command in uppercase. User had given the exit command in uppercase, then also I'm converting that into lowercase. So if user input is exit, or suppose user input is quit, in either of the case, what we need to just say goodbye to the user, and I have to break the loop, right? Done. And if it is not, that means user wants to talk. All right. So now how user will talk? Now we will just create, when we are doing some conversation always build up with the help of context. Okay, like right now I am covering Gen AI thing. Okay, so there is a context of Gen AI going on, right? In between, I can't insert. Okay, let's just start Python. Okay, let's just start data science. No, right? There is a context of Gen AI going on. So conversation is tightly packed by a kind of a context, right? So and context is built up with the help of conversation history, right? So we need to build conversation history, conversation history for the context. Okay, in that context only the conversation should go on. Otherwise, sometimes conversation may give you the some random result. Okay, because it is a machine, right? So conversation, by default, the conversation is what? Blank. Nothing is there, right? Now, initially our chat history also I'll define over here. Chat history. This is also blank, a list containing nothing, right? So as the conversation is going on, all the informations will be stored over here. Where it will be stored? In the chat history. Okay. So I can say for chat in chat history. Right now, this chat history is containing nothing, but it will contain something. Okay, right now it is having nothing over here, but this chat history will have something later on. Okay, like whatever the conversation that will go on, this chat history will get appended with the information from the user and the response from the system, right? So for chat in chat history, whatever the chat we have, this conversation, okay, will add up with few information such as what user had asked, okay, like this, and what assistant had responded, slash n, okay, what assistant had responded, okay. This thing will be added, and then again there is a new line. Okay, so the conversation will get these information added up from the chat history. All right, now we'll build up the prompt over here. Okay, so now prompt is equals to, we'll define prompt in multiple lines so that we can easily make a rich prompt over here. Now I'll tell it something. Let's say here, let me write a comment also. Okay, construct a prompt with explicit instructions to build uh, or to respond user queries. Okay, right. So here I have to give the prompt, right? So what prompt shall I give? Let me just try to give the prompt over here. You are a helpful assistant, all right, for AI Council. All right. Now we'll say that use the information below to answer user questions. Okay. Naturally, because I want it should look natural, right? It should not look like a machine is responding. Obviously, people know that machine is responding, but people always want the response should be natural without mentioning the source document. Obviously, we need not to mention the source document, right? Next, I'll say please provide your answers with clear formatting. That is important because if your answer is not in a clear format, it is not bulleted, then it's difficult to understand for the user, right? So I'll say that bullets, use bullet points or numbered lists, right? Wherever applicable. Okay, spelling just try to be correct, but it's fine. Applicable to improve readability. All right. Now here I wrote what I wrote. Use the information below. Where is information? The information is actually over here in the PDF text. Okay, because we are feeding the PDF text to this function. Okay, this function we are feeding the PDF text after accessing it, right? So this is our PDF text. Okay, we are already using formatted text over here, formatted string. So PDF text will go with that. Means whatever the PDF is containing, that will be present over here, right? Now I have to add the context. So for the context, we'll say what conversation so far. What are the conversation that happened till now? Okay, that is represented by this conversation guy. All right. Thereafter, user, what user had asked. Okay, whatever user had asked, that will be represented by this user input, right? Okay, and thereafter, what assistant will respond? Okay, that would be left blank over here. Okay, so that assistant will respond, that will appear after this. All right, now I have to do what same thing that we did earlier. I have to call the model is equals to GenAI dot generative model. Okay, and here I have to define a model. Okay, which model shall I define? I can just use the same model that we have used earlier, 2.0 flash. This works good for me, so I hope this will work good now also. Fine. Next, we have to do what? Here, using this model, I need to generate the response, right? So response is equals to model dot generate content. Okay. So content generation can be controlled by the prompt that we feed over here that we already created there, right? And thereafter assistant reply. What will be the reply? The reply will be the response dot text dot strip. All right. So that will be the assistant reply. Thereafter, print a formatted text here, assistant. All right. I want to reply in the next line slash n, and here assistant reply. All right. So it's like whatever the reply that assistant is making. Okay. From that, we are removing the extra spaces using dot strip. All right. So and then this is a formatted text. So I can put it over assistant reply. All right, and then again I want to go to next line so that everything should not get mixed up. And thereafter we'll do what? We'll just add the conversation into the chat history. So save the conversation, okay, into chat history. Okay, so for that we have chat history. Already we have defined here chat history, right? Where we define, here we have defined chat history, right? So chat history dot append. Okay, what do I need to append? I need to append this guy. Okay, so append what? We have to append the information what user had asked. Okay, what user had asked, that is user input, that is already here. All right, and then what assistant had responded. So assistant ASISTNT, what assistant had responded, that also I need to store. Where, what is assistant responded? Assistant reply. All right, so these two things are there. Now if you see, when we are creating this conversation over here, here we had used user and here you had assistant. Now conversation we had left it blank. Okay, why? Because see, the user response is something which is represented by this key, right? User key. So I should use over here, this is for chat in chat history. That means it will pick the first chat, second chat, third chat, fourth chat. Now from each chat, take the key called user. All right, that is important, isn't it? So take the key over here, use single quote over here because double quote is enclosing everything. Okay, and same thing for the assistant. From the chat is what? Single chat from the chat history. Okay, take the key assistant. Okay, so that it can be updated. Then only it can take the actual information assistant. I hope everything is correct. If spelling and everything is correct, then it should work. And we have defined the PDF path also. Okay, here I can just use print extracting PDF text. Okay, please, or it's not required anyway. Okay, let's gathering, let's say gathering information. Okay, that's it. So now let's see how it working. I'll just execute this function first, right? That function is already executed and here it is combining everything. So let's execute it. So now it is saying gathering information, welcome to AI Council chatbot, type exit to quit, but I don't want to quit. So I'll say he. So it should respond something to me. Let's see what, yeah, how can I help you to explore AI career training program today? Okay, so I'll say what are the training programs, okay, do you offer? Okay, so let's say it is gathering the information. So it is saying that we offer career focused training, programming, cutting edge technology, this, that, all those things, right? So tell me about generative AI, right? So let's say what it is doing. Okay, generative AI is a field of focus of creating content like this one, this one, this one. So here are our training covers: core concept, prompt engineering, Gemini, GPT, API, LangChain, Flowise, VectorDB, advanced technique, LoRa-based fine tuning and all. For example, you could learn build PDF-based document chatbot with natural responses that we are already doing. Now I can just have an exit if I don't want to continue with this chat, and I press exit. Things are done. So you can say, how can we create a simple chat bot with our private data? Next, we will explore how can we create a UI for this particular chatbot and how can we deploy this thing over the cloud as well. So let's move ahead for the next step in the next project. Okay, so just keep learning and stay tuned.